Hi everybody, I'm hoping that this is working. I think it might be a test. I'm not sure. Facebook has decided to change everything at last minute, so I have no idea. I think I'm live on YouTube. Hi everybody, but I am not live, I don't think, on Facebook. So I don't know. Anyway, I'm here to chat about the seasons today, because this week I sent out a challenge, and it was all about the seasons. I'm just trying to get Facebook Live to work. It's just a bit of a pain in the bum. I don't know why it's not working. I have no idea. I don't know. Anyway, so hi everybody. So I'm live on YouTube but not on Facebook. So I'm going to have to just write a little message. So live on YouTube. Find me roots to branches. The joys of technology. Publish. Okay, so I sent out a little challenge this week all about the seasons, and it was one of our challenges that we're doing every week. And this one's a longer one because you can't experience all 4 seasons all in one go. So you have to have a little think about it all year round. And that might be easier for the people who come to my family forest schools on a monthly basis, because they'll be able to maybe record and reflect after each session, and then that will give them their month after month after month after month appreciation of kind of nature. And obviously we're not in the woods at the moment, but that does not mean that you can't do it. So the first thing we need to work out is which season we're in. So we're currently in spring, and we're just getting towards the end of spring, because spring is the 3 months up until the end of May. And in spring, everything starts to just creep and get a bit more alive and a bit more alive as it goes. So my challenges in spring is to how I'm going to record what I can see. So I have seen so far some buds on the trees all popping. So the buds have started off looking a bit like these. So that's an ash branch, and the buds are little black ones on here, and then they've started popping and started making beautiful leaves on the trees. I've seen daisies appear, which is a sign of spring, and some bulbs coming out like bluebells and snowdrops and things like that. So that's your first signs of spring. But how are we going to monitor that? So the first thing that I thought about was collecting some leaves. So this is a really good way. So you pick a tree or a plant, and you pick a leaf from it every single month. So I've got my notebook here, and I've just wrote seasons, and I've put recording by leaf, and I've got some kitchen roll in here, or you could use some newspaper or just any other paper to absorb, because the leaves are full of water, so you'll need to just protect your book while they're drying out. And I've collected 2 leaves. So I've chosen my little apple tree. So I picked one a little while ago, and that's this little one here. Okay, and then I picked one today, and that's this one here. Okay, and you can see the leaves have changed shape. Okay, so the little ones are more oval shaped, and the big ones are a little bit more rounded from my little apple tree. And they hopefully get bigger and bigger. The apple tree is only little, so the leaves won't get much bigger, I don't think. But it'd be interesting to see what they do, and they might change colour. So this one is much lighter in colour than this one. Ta-da! So this one here is much darker. And then in autumn, the leaves start changing colour. So if you've noticed that last year, you'll notice that leaves change to all different colours in autumn. So they might turn yellow, they might turn red, orange, they might even turn a brown colour. And they might even fall off the tree. So this apple tree is a deciduous tree, which means that it loses its leaves in the winter, and it becomes just the branches and the sticks. Okay, so this one will lose all of its leaves. So I'll take a leaf every month, and I'm going to place it in between my kitchen roll, like that. Put a piece on top, and I'm going to close the book, and I'm going to pop something heavy on it, and I'm just going to dry them out, and then I'm going to stick them on the pages and write which month they come under. So each leaf will maybe take 2 weeks, but if you're going to do one every month, you could pop it in the kitchen roll, squash it down, and next month when you pick your new leaf, take your old leaf out, stick it in your book, write a little note underneath it, and then squash your new one ready for next month. And then you'll hopefully have somewhere between, so what is it now? So it's May. So May, June, July, August, September, October, maybe even November. So you might even have 6 or 7 different leaves that you'll be able to look at and see the difference in the shapes and the sizes and the colours and all the way through the seasons. And you'll be able to see how that changes. And this is something that is just really a nice thing to do, and you could even use it to make a decoration for winter to celebrate the trees. So once you've got all your leaves dried out, you could make an array of colour and make it all beautiful and pop it out. You could put them on Christmas cards. So if you want to collect more and squash them in between books and make a little leaf press, you'd be able to do that as well. So that's my first idea for recording. And in the email, I had lots of different things going on. So I had rain collection. Something that you might want to do, you might want to monitor how much rain comes down, because in each season there's different amounts of rain. So in the winter there might be a bit more, in the autumn there might be a bit more, but in the summer, is there more or is there less rain in the summer? And this last month in April, we hardly had any rain at all. And you'll know if any of your family have plants in the garden, or if you've planted some seeds yourself, you'll have had to water them quite a lot during April, because there's been hardly any rain, which means that they're not getting the water from the sky and the clouds. So you can try and collect rain in a tub. So you can chop off like a milk bottle or a pop bottle and leave it open, or a bucket and leave it out. And then every day or every week or every month or every time it rains, you can take the water and measure it and see how much comes out. And if you want to measure it in a measuring jug, you could do that. Or if you just want to fill up like a Coke bottle or something like that, and pour all the water into the Coke bottle and save it, and then you can mark a line on it and write the words of the month, or write the letter of the month on there, and you can just mark it and then empty it out at the end, and you can see how much it's collected. So that's a really good way. And wind. So one of the things that was in the challenge was you received a little sheet that gave you a spiral that looks a bit like this one, and you need to colour it in, stick it on some cardboard. So I used the back of a cereal packet, so mine on the back is brown, but I've coloured it in all multicoloured like this, and this is a wind spinner. And then you need to punch a hole, so I used the hole punch to punch a little hole in there, and I'm just going to thread some string through. And my little boy helped me colour it in. Well, I say helped, he did one little bit. Colouring in's not Jack's thing. But I quite enjoyed colouring it in. And you don't need to stay in the lines either, because you're cutting it out. So when you put it on your string, it springs out like a little spring. And then in the wind, it will blow and it will spin. So then you need to find somewhere to hang it up and stick. And unfortunately, it's not really that windy today. But it should blow and spin a bit like that. Ta-da! So that's a really nice, easy wind spinner. And if you haven't received the email, if you're not on my list, give me a message on greenleyjenna@gmail.com, and I will add you to the list and send it out to you. But that's a really nice way. And with this as well, you'll be able to see which way the wind's blowing. So if you're dangling it down like this, and the wind's blowing this way, it'll blow your wind spinner that way. If it is blowing this way, it'll blow it this way. And you'll be able to see which direction it goes. And if you've got a compass, you can use the compass to see which way the wind's blowing. And if you are struggling, if the wind's not very strong like today and you would like to record it and you're not sure which way it's coming from, you need to find something maybe a bit lighter. So you could use a piece of wool on its own. And I'm going to root around my craft bag. So you could use a piece of wool on its own, and that's more likely to blow in a direction. So you can see it's slightly blowing that way, and it's starting to move around now. And when the wind just blows a little bit more, you'll start seeing it moving. Or you could use a little bit of tissue. So I've got a bit of tissue paper, which is even lighter. Or you could use a little bit of toilet roll if you've got any, and you can see that's blowing a lot more nicely in the wind, and you'll be able to see which direction. So it's going this way at the moment, like that. Ta-da! So you could use that to see which direction, and you can just note down which way it is in your garden. So if I was going to note down this, I could say the front wall of my garden, and if it was going behind me, I could say the hedge, and if it was going this way, I could say towards the house, and if it was going that way, I could go towards the car over there. So I could use that, or I could get a compass out and see if I can work out which way it is. You can get apps for your phone if you haven't got a compass, or your tablet, and you can also have a compass and have a little look and see which way it's pointing, and note down which way it is. So you could work out which way is north and which way is east and which way is west and which way is south, and go from there. So it's going a different way now. Morning. So we can do a little bit of that. So you can measure the wind. Okay, so we've got our lovely spinners, and I've got little bits of string to help me along the way. Or you can make yourself a windsock. And there's plenty of, if you Google search windsock online, there's plenty of ways you can do it just with bits from your house, if you'd like to make a windsock. So those are some of the ways that are on the challenge that you can do. And I thought I'd show you the spinner because I really quite like it myself. It's really lovely. Some of the other ways that we can watch the seasons go by as well is maybe watching the clouds. Now, it's quite a nice serene activity to do. Get a mat or a cushion, go and lie on the floor, look up in the sky and have a look at the clouds and see which clouds that you can see. And there's plenty of little charts online, and I've just done a little drawing in my book to show you different types of clouds. Okay, so the cumulonimbus, which is the bottom one, is mentioned in Up, on if you've ever seen the Disney Up film. Cumulonimbus is the storm clouds, and they're the big grey clouds that are very heavy and very low. And then you've got the sort of puffy ones, white feathery high ones, and then you've got stratus clouds, which are wide blankets of grey, and cumulus, and then you've got the cumulus ones as well, which are the kind of puffy ones that are a bit flat at the bottom. The typical sort of cloud shape, flat at the bottom, and then whoop, 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 sort of Toy Story shape. And they all have different things going on, and you could maybe have a lie down and look up in the sky and record what types of clouds that you're seeing, or even what shapes you're seeing in the sky. That would be really quite fun to do. Now, that might not tell you much about the seasons, or it might, depending on what it is. I mean, right at the moment, we've got some lovely, fluffy stratus clouds, which are looking really nice. And I think yesterday we had some different, well, we barely had a cloud in the sky for parts of the day yesterday. So you might have to just record that you've got no clouds. So that's quite fun. So I've got a little chart in here, and I can record down what I see. And I sent out a sheet that looked a little bit like this one that I've drawn of the seasons, and this could be used for anything. So this is a circle, and it's got the months of the year around, and you could draw the types of clouds that you're seeing or write them in each section, and then you'll be able to see what you're seeing all year round. Or, like me, I've used this to do a temperature chart for the whole year. So I've put the low temperatures in the middle and the high temperatures around the outside for the whole of 2019. And I've used different colours. So I've gone blue for cold and red for hotter, and I've gone sort of light blue and yellow and orange in between. And you can use any colours you like as long as you know which one is which one. So if anything under 3 degrees is dark blue here, and anything over 15 degrees is red, which is over there. Okay, and that's the average for the month, for each month for 2019. So you can see the difference there, and it'd be interesting. I've started one for this year. It'd be interesting to see what the difference is between them. And you can have more colours than I've got here. I chose 6 colours, but you could have more colours to make it more in detail if you'd like. But that's a really nice way of recording it, and it's a picture on there, but you could use it for anything. So different ways of recording seasons would be, you could do a muddy one. So how muddy is it outside? Is it good for puddle jumping? So in each section, you could put, I don't know, and maybe a mud splat if it's muddy, 2 mud splats if it's really muddy, 3 mud splats if it's absolutely squelchy. You could put a blue splat if there's loads of puddles, or you could leave it blank and just put sunshine for no puddles. You could put anything in there, or you could, and if you want to record the seasons by what clothes you need to wear, then you could draw them in the sections or write them. So in December, I'd be wearing a vest, a t-shirt, another t-shirt, a jumper, a fleece, and a coat, and a hat and gloves and scarves. And then this month, where are we? May, over here, I'm currently wearing shorts and a t-shirt and a hoodie, just because it's a bit breezy today. But the other days I've not been wearing a hoodie. But I've only got a t-shirt and a hoodie on, where in the winter I've maybe got 5 or 6 layers underneath my coat, and today I don't even need a coat. So that's one way of recording. So if you don't want to do temperature, and if you don't want to do that, you can do how muddy it is outside and how splatty it is. And if you can think of any other ways of recording what it's like outside, you can do that as well. And you don't have to use this chart if you don't want to. You can make your own one and make it as pretty as you like, to make it easy for you to read and understand. The temperature one that I've just done there, other people do this every year, and some keen knitters and crocheters, they take different colours of wool. So instead of coloured crayons, they're using different colours of wool, and they look at their thermometer in their house. So you might have a thermometer attached to your boiler, or you might have one just on the wall, or you might look in your car. Some cars have thermometers in as well, and they look at it at the same time every day, and then whatever temperature it is, they choose the right wool for their temperature, and they knit a little square or a line on a scarf, and they use different colours. And I thought we could maybe do the same thing with a twig. So one of our skills is to tie rope onto something. So we did like a little overhand knot. We've done a clove hitch to tie things on, and so we could use that skill to do a little temperature stick. So I've got some colours here. Okay, so we'll go pink for hot, yellow for medium-y hot, and we've got green for cold. So if you haven't got a thermometer, you can just go for something really simple and go, we maybe need one for freezing as well. So I've got really red for really red hot on those days where it's so hot that you can't wear anything. And have I got anything to do a freezing-y colour? Let's have a little look. Oh, I've got a little bit of blue. There we go. So I've got a little bit of icy blue for when it's icy outside. So if your day is a bit medium, so that could be, I don't know, around 10 degrees somewhere, you could take a bit of wool and tie it onto your stick and wrap it around. There we go. And my day today is medium. Okay. And if tomorrow is a lot hotter, you could take a little bit more string and wrap it around like that. Ta-da! So you've got your 2 different colours there to show the different colours of the day. So if you come to Family Forest School, you could do this each month. So take your stick and So if we think back, so if this was this month, May, which has been quite warm, and that month was April, the month before was quite cold. It was quite cold for me, but it wasn't freezing. So I would need to use my green colour, and here's a green colour. There we go, because that's what I'm saying is cold, and I would put cold on there for March because I thought it was quite cold at points. Ta-da! There we go. So I've got now my colour stick. So I've got green for cold, and I've got yellow for warmer for April, and then I've got pink for hotter for May. And I can do a different colour all the way along. And hopefully, if you look at this chart, it gets colder in winter and hotter in summer. So as I get more towards summer each month, I might end up using the really red one in one of the summer months. I might just end up using this one, or it might be just really just okay and not really that hot. So I might need to just use my okay yellow colour, and you'll be able to see each month where it is. And if you do it on the same day each month, so Family Forest Schools is on the first Saturday or the second Sunday. So even though we're not there, you can still do this each month. So on the second Sunday of each month, you can have a think about the temperature, or if you can't remember, you can always look back because they record the temperatures for the day, and you'll be able to look back and see what actually the temperature was and do it from there. So you could have different ones. So you can have as many different colours as you like. I picked out 5 there for myself, but the temperature in the UK tends to be somewhere between 0 and 20 degrees. So, and most of them are in the middle, somewhere between 5 and 15. So you might want to pick a few extra colours for those bits, just so you know the difference between them. And the most important thing is to remember and write down which colour is which, because I can guarantee if you're anything like me, you'll forget straight away and you won't be able to remember which one's which. Okay, so that's some ways of doing it, and we've recorded on a stick. The other things that you could record that help you with the seasons is when it goes dark. Okay, so in the winter, it's dark in the morning when you get up, and it's dark when you go to bed. But now it's light when you get up, and it's light when you go to bed. And in the summer, it's even lighter, and there's less and less dark. And that's because of the tilt of the Earth. It's tilting us towards and away from the sun. So it's getting lighter and darker. So on a circle like this, or on something else, you can write down what time it goes dark. And if you are already in bed and you don't know what time it goes dark, there are websites that will help you. And you can say, what time is sunset tonight? And you can record it on there. And that's one way of noticing the seasons going in, because winter are shorter days and summer are longer days. And there's a longest day of the year and a shortest day of the year. So it might be interesting to find out when they are, so you can have a look. And that's something it's nice and easy to record. So if you're thinking of monthly things to record, you can think of a few different things that you want to record. And each month on a certain day, so you could pick a date. So you could pick the 10th and do it that way, or you could pick the day that you come into Family Forest School, or you could do it every Monday or every Friday, or whatever day fits in well with you. And you could record down one thing, or you could record down a few things, or you could just keep a diary of how you're feeling about the weather. So you can look out the window and say, oh, I feel the weather is lovely today because it's nice and crispy and snowy and I love the snow outside. Or you can say, oh, it's a bit cold today. I don't really like the wind. It's making me feel very cold, but it is very pretty to watch in the trees, and it makes the trees go all rustly and nice. So you can record sort of how you're feeling. So one of the things on the challenge this week, or another thing on the challenge, is mapping out the different seasons and what you know about them. So I said you could get a piece of paper, split it into 4, and draw in the things that you think are springy, and there's some summery ones and some autumn and some winter, or scribble some colours in of the colours that you think those seasons are. Or you could write words in about what you think you might see. And creating a bit of a weather word chart is quite a good thing. So you could have it on your fridge at home, or if you've got like a little, if you've got like a back of a cereal packet or a back of a piece of paper, stick it on the wall, and every time you think or you see a word that you think sounds a bit like a weather or a season, you could write it on the wall and add to it all year round. So you've got a whole year of different weathers and different spring things and different things you see. So some of the words for this month could be buds, because you see lots of buds on trees. Some could be daisies. It could be bluebells. Could be buttercups, because buttercups have just started to pop out now for me in my garden. Things you might want to see, icicles. You might want to think about weather. So it might be like heavy rain, really blustery winds, storms, sunshine, lots of cloud, little cloud, and you might find clues in some of your storybooks. So sometimes it starts once upon a time on a windy day, and they'll explain a little bit about the weather. So you can maybe pick out some words from there and add those to your chart and see how many words you can find to do with the weather and with the seasons all year round. And you can maybe separate them into the 4 seasons and see which words you feel go in the right season. So that might be quite a nice way of doing it. I'm going to, let's see. So what have we got? I think. So what I'm going to do this year for myself, I'm going to do my leaf. So I have got my leaves ready in my book, getting squished, ready for me to write notes around. I'm going to do another temperature chart so I can compare this year to last year each month. And I think I'm going to do a colour stick as well. So I really like this idea. I do crochet, but I think I'd rather a nice stick so I could take it with me and show people. So I'm going to unravel these, and I'm going to try and remember what the weather was like in January, February and March and April, and then I'm going to add to it, and I'm going to try and have 12 months, and each month on Family Forest School Day I'm going to add a new piece of wool to my stick and see what happens. So I think those are the 3 ways that I would like to do. And I'm also going to hang my wind spinner in the garden and see how pretty it looks when it's all spinning round and beautiful. And that way. Yes, so I think that's everything from me today. But I'd like to see some of your ideas. People have been sending me some beautiful emails with lots of pictures on about what they've got up to and how they're doing the different challenges. So I would like to see your ideas of how you would like to record seasons, whether it's in writing or writing poems or drawing or finding and sticking or just going outside and thinking about it. You don't need to write it down if you don't want to. You can just go outside and feel it. Or you can take pictures of it. So one of the other challenges is to find one spot. So if I was going to choose a spot, I could mark it with a stone or a stick and make sure that I know where it is, and I could stand near that spot. So I could stand under the number on my house and look out in the garden and take a picture, and from that same spot every month, and then I'd be able to see all the pictures and how the garden changes throughout those seasons. Hopefully I'm going to have a bundle of those from the woodland, but I'm going to be missing a few months as I've been missing the woodland as I've been going on. So yes, but still spots photography is quite good to record seasons. But I'll be quite looking forward to all your different ideas and seeing what you think would be a good way of recording the seasons and seeing what you think about the seasons and what's the best bit about spring. I think that would be the best way. So I hope that you enjoyed that. And if you would like to be part of the challenge and have the wind spinners and part of the challenges emailed out to you, just drop me a line and I'll quite happily add you onto the list. But that's me finished, I think. I'm rambling on a little bit. And I am sorry to anyone who's missed this on Facebook. I don't know what's happening with the live bit on Facebook, but it would not let me go live. And I really don't know why, so I'm very, very sorry. But that's for now, and I'll see you next week, everyone. Hope you enjoy Nettle Week. Bye.